Hello, everybody. Welcome to Most Wanted Topics. I'm your host, Kevin the Tank.
And I'm Atomic Tommy. Welcome back.
We have been on a
Welcome
hiatus.
back.
Happy New Year. It is,
Yes,
can you believe it's already mid-January?
that's right. Time has been flying. We took a little bit of a break, but we're back now. We have a packed show. We're going to do some recap. We're going to do some comic book talk. And the Dan, the Amazing Spider-Man fan, who now is on the mic. Say hi.
Hello, world.
Yeah, on a mic now. Producer Dan on the mic.
Dan, Amazing Spider-Man fan, now producer Dan.
Officially, he has a mic, a camera to be coming soon.
Yeah, to be coming soon.
Whether that's good or not, we'll figure that out.
We'll figure it out. But he does have a camera now, running things from the table. The guy in the chair, as he is known. We will be finishing up our Marvel ranking here later on in the show. We have the last 20 to cover. I know it's been a little while, but think back, we did a lot, and we're coming to the last 20 now. So
the best of the best.
the best of the best. It's time, just in time, and I'm sure we'll bring it up again, just in time for Wonder Man. So we'll have to reconvene on where that fits in after it drops. But
here's what's cool, everybody. We are on our 99th episode.
99th episode. What are we going to do for episode 100? You'll have to wait and see. But for now, this is 99.
We are going to plan a party, but I tell you what, we can't believe we're at 99. And we would have been there sooner at 100, but we had a lot going on after the move.
Yes.
And we did start broadcasting after the move, but now we need to get a little more technology.
Yeah.
We're going to get new microphones. We're going to get a whole new studio set up here so we can bring you better quality podcasts. But we're going to keep the ball rolling. We're at 99. We're still counting. We wanted to get back. Otherwise, it's kind of like you'll never get started again if we don't do something here.
That's right, yeah.
And we were so busy through the holidays. And then we jumped right into the new year. We had the Sergeant Slaughter signing. And we have already gotten booked signers. January 31st, we've got Bivens coming with his new book.
Yes, John Bivens at Most Wanted Comics, Saturday, January 31st, signing his new Image comic, Malevolent, 11-3. Got to be there for that.
There are so many great creators in Minnesota.
There are.
We are blessed.
Yeah, we are blessed. We take it for granted, but John Bivens coming out on the 31st.
Yeah, so if you plan to stop by, he'll be here on the 31st. Make your plans come to Most Wanted Comics. And also, February 28th, Jimmy Hart will be back.
Yeah, yes.
The mouth of the South.
Making his triumphant return to Most Wanted Comics. He was our very first wrestler we had signing back in January of 2024. 2 years later, he is back now signing his new Funko Pops. We have him in. We got him. Producer Dan is grabbing one for us as we speak to throw in front of the camera. Caught it. But yeah, come grab Jimmy Hart's new pop figure February 28th, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Check out the details already on mostwantedcomics.com.
And all the socials.
Add it to the calendar.
There it is, February 28th. Jimmy Hart. We've got everything covered. Well, I tell you what, we have had such a crazy time from the holidays until now. It's good to breathe again and talk about something we actually do here, and that is sell comic books. Believe it or not, the store does sell comic books. And Absolute, when we left off, we were always talking about how DC needed to catch up.
Yeah.
And they had just started to get hot with Absolute when we left off. Well, they've continued their fast forward all the way through the new year, and they're crushing all kind. They finally overtook for us sales over Image. The Absolute line has been killing it with Absolute Batman, Absolute Wonder Woman, Absolute Martian Man, which I still think the sleeper Absolute Martian Manhunter has been the best. I know Absolute Batman gets all the rave. Martian Manhunter has been completely awesome, and I'm very happy with it. Superman, all these Absolute titles are just killing it. And
Absolute Flash.
Absolute Flash. Yeah, there we go. But like I said, they're all crushing it. You can't keep them in stock. Number one's going crazy for Absolute Batman. The second printing on some of these things aren't coming out until February now. They've been pushed back. It's insane. But let's not forget now, Image is still rocking and rolling. Kirkman took over Transformers, and Transformers is still probably my second favorite comic on the market right now.
And not just Transformers, but you have a really, really hot independent horror book, Exquisite Corpse, which just got picked up to be made into a movie.
Yeah.
That has
I
been
did not
going
know that.
crazy. If you haven't checked that out, definitely give that a read. But there is just a ton of good stuff out right now from everybody, really, except for Marvel.
Except for Marvel.
The unfortunate thing with Marvel is there's so much potential right now, but just so much clutter, so much filler.
Well, do we think that, I mean, with all the Ultimates being done or dunning very close?
There's a lot of people that are upset about that. Personally, I'm not really. Ultimate Spider-Man, we can look at it two different ways. We can look at it from a quality, and then we can look at it from like a sales perspective. From a sales perspective, the Ultimate line fell off pretty crazy for us. I'm not going to speak for the industry as a whole, obviously, but for us, Ultimate Spider-Man got dropped. Started getting dropped by some people. Ultimate X-Men, Ultimate Black Panther, kind of the same deal. The Ultimates, same kind of situation there. And it just kind of tapered off quite a bit. And from a fan perspective, again, it was Ultimate Spider-Man was probably the best Spider-Man title on the shelf, but it just couldn't even compete. All of this trash talk, though, we have to be fair. If you're not reading Captain America by Chip Zdarsky, you are missing out big time. It is the best thing on the shelf for Marvel. Chip Zdarsky is an incredible writer in general.
They need it.
They need it. You have to check out that. That is probably, if we're going back, because we never did this, top comics of 2025. Two of those comics for me are actually from Marvel. If we want to jump to that really quick to do a little bit of a recap.
Absolutely.
Top comic, I think, for me, 100% from Marvel, Daredevil Cold Day in Hell was an absolute banger 3-issue series. And Captain America. I mean, those two alone carried Marvel. From DC, you have to talk about like the absolutes that dropped: Flash and Martian Manhunter and Green Lantern. A newer pick, Batman. Matt Fraction's Batman has been really, really solid. And obviously, Image, we kind of already talked about it. Exquisite Corpse really took off this year in a really big way. And there's just been
two G.I. Joe titles.
There's G.I. Joe is still continuing, yes.
And you have Transformers.
Yes, you do.
You have Void Rivals.
All the Energon stuff. Yep.
So, I mean, Image, good job. And then you have the people like Bivens coming out with his comic. And then you also have Xander Cannon with Sleep.
Which is really good, too.
Which you guys got to, if you haven't read Sleep, read Sleep.
The trade will be coming out for that soon. Pick that up. That'll collect it all and give it a read.
It's just so much work out there. It's tough to keep up with. And I have to say, the more independent stuff is ruling the day and taking over the big guys.
There are a few things coming up in Marvel, though, that I'm really excited about. One of those things, Iron Man by Joshua Williamson. Joshua Williamson does not write for Marvel all that much. I honestly can't remember the last time he did. He has been a DC guy through and through, consistent. But he is coming out to write Iron Man, which desperately needs a fresh, good reboot series. Iron Man has struggled
a lot,
fallen to the wayside. I've been an Iron Man reader the last few years, and it has just not been good at all. So to have somebody like Williamson come onto the title, and really have a story that I know that he wants to tell. There's some really good interviews out there already of him talking about it. I'm really excited for that. Also,
it's a big deal.
It is a really big deal. And Daredevil is also getting a reboot, #1, written by Stephanie Phillips, who honestly I am not as familiar with, but has had some prominent work out in Marvel recently. Most notably, she's doing most of the Spider-Gwen stuff. The all-new Spider-Gwen series is written by her. I know she's been doing well with that over on that corner of the Marvel universe. And now she's jumping over to write Daredevil, which I am also really excited for. That character has also really struggled. I mean, that last run, which I believe was like 25 issues, was rough. I mean, that was tough to get through. But I'm really, really excited for a reboot, though. they are doing blind bags, which we will be talking about in a future episode. A little bit ironic, they're blind bags for Matt Murdock and Daredevil, but I am really, really excited for that. DC obviously has some really fun stuff coming out. They launched no slowing down for them. They just actually announced back at, I think it was San Diego or New York, the Next Level campaign, which is going to feature new number ones for a lot of prominent characters. Firestorm, the Demon, Etrigan the Demon, Deathstroke's getting a new number one, Batwoman. Really excited for Firestorm. Firestorm's one of my favorite DC characters. Cannot wait for that. Also, new Absolute titles coming up. Absolute Green Lantern, Absolute Catwoman. Gonna be absolutely fire. You know you like
what
that.
you did there.
You know you like that. But, the DC is not slowing down at all. I cannot wait for all of the fun stuff coming up this year.
DC has caught a rhythm, and that's good.
Yeah.
It's going to sell books for us, which is a good thing. And then maybe it'll spiral into some good theatrical.
And we can't forget DCKO boss battle is still on the horizon. Superman versus Homelander. It's going to happen. It's going to
be a busy 2026, and,
Yes, it
and
is.
hopefully Marvel really does come through with some good work, because Marvel really needs to step up their game, and it's been disappointing. And we all need Marvel to be big.
They are resting on their laurels.
Well, we just need them to
You
be
know?
big again, because that's the way it should be. Marvel's the biggest one, and they should be the biggest one. They just need to back it up again and put the care and effort into it. That's all.
Yeah.
But okay, enough of criticizing the Marvel.
Enough on the comic recap.
Enough on the comic recap. You and amazing Spider-Man fan Dan have some work to do here.
We have to finish the top 20 MCU ranking. We got to get into it.
I'm going to step out so he can be on camera for this,
He's
and then we'll cap it up when we're done.
he's on the way.
All right.
All right. We're back. Marvel ranking again.
Boom. Boom.
Yep, that's right. We're on the top 20 now, and things have gotten real. Okay, we've last one was a bit long, going through kind of the middle stuff, but now we're getting into stuff that we're all excited about.
And a lot of it doesn't need a lot of explanation.
No, I mean
we
That's-
know what we're looking forward to.
especially in the top 10. Now, again, like we kind of mentioned at the start of this here, it is we are about a week out from Wonder Man, right? Where is that going to fit in? I don't know. I'm actually quite excited for Wonder Man. That looks really promising. That looks like a lot of fun. But obviously it's not out yet, so we can't rank it. Let's start it off, though. Number 20. Take it away.
I mean, this is kind of a unique entrant because neither of the lead up was part of the MCU.
Yes, correct. And not only that, it is also confirming on here probably the newest entry on the top 20. Everything else would have come before this.
Yeah, even that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's correct.
So this is the newest entry in the MCU on the top 20. And as you said, not really largely connected to the MCU in any meaningful, large way.
Before that, now this movie,
Correct.
there's a lot of stuff going on for it, and we're talking about Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yes, Deadpool and Wolverine at number 20.
Wade and Wolvie.
I know there's a lot of fans of this movie, but I think number 20 is quite fair given everything that is still to come after it. What a great movie. I mean, what a great movie for Wolverine.
Yep.
What a great, I mean,
People were not happy because they thought Logan was like perfect send off. Do not come back.
and it was.
And it was and it is. I mean, it's fine, but I mean, Hugh's passion for the character is, I mean, it's generational. I mean, it's been going on for a quarter century now.
Yeah.
And still going strong, technically better than ever. And the buddy cop, the atmosphere between the two mains. I mean, it's in real life and in the movie. I love the stuff they do to each other in real life. And it's just fun on screen. So many callbacks and fun stuff in that movie. nostalgia and just kind of
It's
some
just
of it's low hanging
it's a
fruit, but
send off, to the Fox universe, which is so. I wasn't. It was so it was kind of unexpected for me, given that the track record is they buy it up and they just pretend it doesn't exist. Well, to acknowledge it and to pay respect to it in such a great way, every character kind of had a send off moment. There was obviously that kind of end credit reel of bloopers and everything from the movies. It was not only was it a fun movie, but it was a respectful movie, and for that I think it deserves the
top 20
20
for
spot.
sure. And just like Deadpool and Wolverine was kind of their first movie, just MCU wise, first full MCU movie at number 19, for the best comic book character that Marvel has, and I would argue that
of all time, and that's Spider-Man: Homecoming. At number 19, I Thwith. I like this movie more and more as I watch it. I mean, out of the theater back in 2017, I was obviously, almost 10 years younger then, but I didn't like saying that either, honestly, but it's grown on me quite a bit over the years, and I think once you've seen all three, right, and there's a third one we'll talk about much later here, but I think the trilogy being complete makes this movie so much better. Now that you kind of get the full origin for this version of Peter, and you can really go back and see it for what it's supposed to be. Now that everything is complete and wrapped up, Michael Keaton as the Vulture is one of the greatest maybe one of the greatest Marvel villain castings. If we were ever going to rank that, I think he'd probably be in my top 5. That was awesome. The hints, the lore, the drops, the whole vibe of that movie I thought was really good for Spider-Man, kind of trying to balance the Peter Parker and the Spider-Man style really well.
Well, and for me, Tom Holland is my favorite actor to be Spidey. Not because of his time as Spidey, because anybody can kind of put on a suit and CGI and do different things, but Tom Holland is Peter for me. And nobody's been able to do that better than him. No, and that's not me trying to be offensive to Toby or Andrew. Andrew is just too pretty to be Peter, in my opinion. But Tom Holland's so fun to watch in this character. And well, then he gets MJ in real life now. I guess they're
in real life. And we couldn't say this last time we filmed this. We have another Spider-Man movie to look forward to in about 6.5 months. So we can look forward to that. But no, Homecoming is really good. I think just over Deadpool and Wolverine, which might be a little controversial, but I think for us, and for me at least, this was just, I think, a more enjoyable movie.
Yes, and I'm a little biased because it's Spidey, but for our number 18, I just picked up on this. This character's first solo movie, but the introduction was in the same film as our Peter Parker.
Kind of funny how that worked out.
Yeah. So the two solo movies that branched off from Civil War, are back to back here on our list, and number 18 is, of course,
Black Panther. The first Black Panther movie. Another movie I'm going to kind of repeat. One that I like more and more that I rewatch it now. Again, out of the theater, it wasn't my favorite. Now I do like it more. I think 18 is very fair for Black Panther. It's not my favorite MCU movie by any means, but the villain in Killmonger has grown on me quite a bit. The acting in that movie is really good. The music in that movie is phenomenal. I think the music in that movie, composer would be Ludwig Göransson. I'm probably not pronouncing the last name correctly. Apologies, but he is a fantastic composer. Actually, I think went to Africa to really learn about the culture of their music there and really perform it accurately and with some African tribes that are over there.
And Kendrick.
And Kendrick obviously in there. And it's a good thing you bring that up. I mean, this movie balances these two different soundtracks really well. Obviously, you have the OST and the orchestral soundtrack, but you also have an incredibly well thought out actual music soundtrack, which adds so much depth to the movie as well.
And doesn't happen that often anymore.
No, and not that well, like not with that kind of balance and both being like top tier. So the music carries that movie hard for me. But obviously Chadwick is, fantastic in that movie. R.I.P. Everybody. I mean, it's grown on me a lot, but I think it's fair at 18.
Concur and agree.
Number 17, another recent entry within the last couple years, the first season of X-Men 97, coming in at number 17. What an incredible surprise. I mean, I think the only way I can describe that show is a surprise. I mean, there was a lot of skepticism about that, bringing back the 90s. What are they going to do? The animation slightly different.
Well, and yeah, I guess, I mean, it's a nostalgia trap for people of my age.
Yeah.
I mean, which the Spidey and the X-Men cartoons in the 90s, I mean, that was must watch.
Yeah.
Or that age. And so, it's risky to bring that back. It like kind of in a direct sequel, same kind of thing. It's one thing to reference it in some future project, but I mean, a continuation of the original series that is so beloved, it's risky.
Decades later too. I mean, it is very risky, but it delivered.
I mean, hats off to the creative team who went forward with that, had the cojones to try to continue something from our childhood and really made an admirable admission to the MCU here. So
coming in at number 16, a project ranking I conceded to you. You made a convincing argument. Go ahead.
I guess my shirt's giving it away a little bit.
A little bit.
But this is number 16, the original Thor, which I mean, it was one of the first string movies to come out before the first Avengers movie.
Phase 1.
Unlike, I mean, well, still, there's nothing else like that in the MCU. It's a Shakespearean drama. It's a family conflict movie that happens to be between mythological gods and rainbow bridges away. But original Thor has been so important. I mean, you do a whole video on how important Odin is in creating anything in the MCU.
Loki. I mean, Loki's story and Loki. Thor.
One of my favorite videos I've ever seen Tom Hiddleston do is he shared on some talk show. He originally auditioned to be Thor, which, I mean, I don't think anybody can not picture him as Loki, and obviously Chris Hemsworth is Thor, legitimately, and so it all worked out the way it should be. But the family dynamic, the father, two sons, adopted son, it was a family. I mean, it was a soap opera drama, and I just loved it. And there's another movie in a couple that we'll be talking about that is just so different that sometimes the side characters really bump it up. And I love Thor since day one, and I know a lot of people put that bottom tier, but I mean, without this movie being cast so well and done so well, these characters don't show up, for the next 50 or 60 projects.
And I think Thor as a character is one of the staples in the MCU. Not obviously is one of the most popular, but one of the most important. like narratively to the universe. I mean, everything, he is one of the main Avengers. He has 4 movies. He's been in every Avengers movie. Like, he is a staple in the universe. And if the first one, even if it's not the greatest MCU movie, kickstarts all of these, I mean, saga spanning arcs. I mean, for Loki especially, Loki has had is probably one of the best characters in the MCU and has had maybe the best arc in the MCU, and that kind of all starts here. I agree. Thor 1:16. An argument can definitely be made for that at 16. I think that's fair. Number 15, a personal favorite, Moon Knight. Number 15. I think probably my favorite show. Like, I mean, maybe Loki was better than Moon Knight, but I really liked Moon Knight. I really
knocked it out of the park.
I really like Moon Knight in the comics. That's a character that you should read. Like if you're gonna say, "Wow, I really liked this character in the show," and you maybe don't always go into the comics, go into the Moon Knight comics. I mean, that character is so great. I mean, the dissociative identity disorder, the vigilante aspect. It's such a great character, and everything works so well.
And I not somebody that jumps out at you.
No.
I mean, if you're we're looking out on a comic shop right now, and it's like, well, like there's so many choices. You like Moon Knight might not be somebody that people are going to think of.
Yeah.
Spidey, Batman, Superman, Avengers, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Moon Knight isn't there for most of the general public, but the show was so good. The character is so interesting.
Yeah.
And kind of, when he's when he's not suited up, I was going to say grounded in reality. Like a believable human backstory until.
I mean, there's psychological. It's a psychological story. How one deals with trauma, and how people need to live their lives and what they need to believe to live their. I mean, it's such a great story. And that's kind of Moon Knight's whole character, is dealing with trauma and troubled pasts. I mean, that the whole reason why Mark Spector even becomes Moon Knight is because he was a hitman, or he was a bad guy on a mission gone wrong and got shot, and in order to survive had to make a deal with Khonshu, right? Obviously, and he has the split personality, and every personality is so different, and every personality is its own person with their own problems, and it all coalesces into Moon Knight, and that's something that the show doesn't even really get into. Not really. I mean, you get the
just a touch,
the Stephen Grant and versus Mark Spector, but there's so much more to do. I'm really disappointed. No season 2.
I've heard rumblings, but
I mean, yeah, there's been rumblings, but if it hasn't happened, at this point, right?
Well, but what's kind of interesting is that I always think positive emotions trump negative ones, or motivations, and so you would say, like, yeah, he was kind of forced to become Moon Knight, right?
Yeah.
Whereas our next movie here, number 14, is the exact, he made a choice on his own for positive reasons.
Yeah.
And again, kind of, one of the most important driving factors in the first many phases.
To this day, as it would seem.
Yeah, and we're going to be revisiting some more of him.
Yeah.
But this would be Captain America, the First Avenger.
Yes. A movie, again, I think this is kind of in that same Thor boat where a lot of people might have it lower. But I think this is relevant. And I think, again, Captain America, I mean, there's Iron Man and there's Captain America. I mean, those are your two
that would
driving characters.
That'd be A and B coin flip, right?
Yeah. And this, again, this starts that. I mean, this kicks it off. I mean, even the Hydra stuff. Hydra is such an important player even throughout, I mean, into Civil War. And if you ever watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., right? I know there's not a lot of us Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fans out there, but Hydra and the ramifications of Winter Soldier and everything that leads into is kind of a massive deal in that show. And that, again, that all starts here. The Tesseract is introduced in that movie. You see the Infinity Stone, right?
But we don't even know it's
you don't even know it's that at that point.
Well, and I think as I look at our list here, like so many of the early movies are ranked very high on this because they were individualized. They weren't different from one another.
And they only
I think they get
better.
Yes,
as you look back.
But because of these foundations, this is a World War II period piece for the most part. And you can see and feel the difference when you're watching this. Like you're not going to mistake this for a Thor movie. You're not going to mistake this for Spidey. So like this is it is its own vision, and it works really well.
And I mean that's one of the complaints that you hear about Marvel movies is, oh, is that one of them, they're Marvel movies? I wouldn't even be able to tell you which one it is. Now, I mean, because visually they all look the same. I mean, but as you said, that was not the case then. Captain America 1, deserving of that 14th spot because there are much better things to come, including number 13, a solo movie that is such a fun watch. I think it pushes it.
I had to fight for this, guys. I had to fight for this because
I did not
to have it this high.
I mean, I was probably thinking more around the 15 to 18 range personally. I mean, I could have swapped it with Black Panther, but number 13's Ant-Man.
And I mean, his cronies steal every scene they're in.
Oh yeah, the side characters are great. Again, carries that movie, and part of the reason we had Quantumania at like 40, if we were all the way back, like way at the bottom, that might have actually been like second worst or whatever it was, is because those side characters weren't in the movie. Paul Rudd is great, obviously Michael Douglas is great, but without those side characters, they just add so much contrast to those two actors. And they add so much depth to the comedy. It was just such a fun watch, and like you said, so different, like tonally and narratively. Like there were no other Marvel movies like that at the time.
Nope.
That was so disconnected from all the Avengers. They had the Falcon cameo, but it was still such a disconnected and independent movie, and that was rare. And maybe the first of its kind at that point. Ant-Man was great.
Yep. Yeah. And Paul Rudd, I mean, not somebody that you would have thought of as a superhero before this casting, has been so important. After being cast and in all of his other appearances, that again, another bump up for Ant-Man here is that without this being such a good foundation, we don't get fun Ant-Man stuff.
No. And kind of and again, Ant-Man is obviously coming back in Doomsday, still such an important character, and it all starts there, and it's great. Number 12, one of my personal favorites, and but when we were drafting this, figuring this out, we each kind of did our own top 10 just to kind of see where we landed on certain things. This was in my top 10, and this might have even been like around the 5 spot, maybe 6. I can't remember specifically where I put it, but this was in the top 10. We settled at number 12, Avengers Age of Ultron. I love this movie. And part of the reason why I love this movie is because I was right at the perfect age to enjoy this kind of superhero Marvel movie. When I was, I think, 7 when Avengers 1 came out, I mean, that was like a 7-year-old, I was in the theater, I saw it, I was like, I can't believe it. And then I was, 10, would have been around 10 when Age of Ultron came out, and I remember being just so excited for that movie, watching the trailer in the comic store. That was at such the perfect age for that it just it hit all the right notes, and there's so much nostalgia and fun for me there.
Avengers 1 was unlike anything in cinematic history. It was such a high note that for phase 2, being able to navigate the whole point of phase 1 was all these solo movies, and then somehow some puppeteer has to string them all together.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's never been done before, and it was so great. And now phase 2, they had to navigate like, well, everybody knows that it can happen, so how come nobody's helping Tony in Iron Man 3? You know, like,
Yeah.
nobody, like, they're kidnapping the president of the United States and nobody's helping? Like, that's weird. And so getting to Age of Ultron, okay, great, the band's back together and now they're all there, but um I'll say, like, it was hitting about the same note, but not quite there.
Yeah.
And and that was a-okay with me, because I mean, to be honest, there's no way like you can consistently be at Avengers 1 level.
No.
And so I don't really have anything super bad to say about this, but
number 11, number 11, another personal favorite that might be a little low for some people, but I think just sitting outside the top 10 is fair. Thor Ragnarok.
drastically different,
not
just for this character, but for any character in the MCU.
Complete, like, change of direction, hard turn. I think it's probably my favorite Thor movie. It's funny, it's comedic, it's a good Thor story. It's really the only time Taika Waititi was able to manage and balance the comedy and the Thor and the action.
Yeah, this is the yin to Love and Thunder's yang.
Yeah.
Right? Where, like, when Taika nailed it, just a, kind of a blind throwing a dart, and he just hit a bullseye with this. And then trying to do this again, just like we were talking about Avengers 1 and 2. Now we have Ragnarok going to Love and Thunder, like trying to replicate that. Now you're going in wide-eyed, wise open, and it's tough. But
everything that was like kind of funny and cute in Ragnarok just got annoying in Love and Thunder, But again, and this is again where Loki kind of makes that shift. It's a really another prominent piece for Loki's character arc throughout the MCU. The movie that ties directly into Infinity War. With that post-credit scene, I guess one of them that ties directly into Infinity War. And again, a highlight for the Thor franchise, a highlight for the character, and it makes number 11 on this list. Number 10, another movie, one of your favorites, one of my favorites, one that, similar to Ant-Man, was so individual and so separated from everything else in the MCU. Maybe one of the most important MCU movies, and one of the first MCU movies to really open the door to a whole nother side of the Marvel Universe at that point. And that's going to be number 10, Doctor Strange. Another great soundtrack. The music in that movie is great. The performance in that movie is great. Benedict Cumberbatch, you could talk for hours about why that's great casting, and it is fantastic casting.
Side note on that, quick. I remember talking to my best friend when it was announced for his casting, and I mean, I grew up. I'm not a Doctor Strange expert, but I grew up with him, and I read some books, and I mean, I saw him in other media. Great. And so I have this mind's eye picture, and when they announced that Benedict Cumberbatch was him, and I'm just like, oh, that is perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect casting. And again, Marvel, what they've done time and time and time and time and time again is just perfect casting, and they can get away with more.
Yeah.
Whereas DC has not quite figured that part out yet.
Yeah.
But
Marvel nailed their castings on almost the first try every time, while DC takes like 3 or 4 tries to do it. But no, Doctor Strange is great. I love Doctor Strange.
Yep. And again, without this movie and Benny being so great, he is so important to everything that follows.
Yeah.
So without this movie just being perfectly solid, none of that other stuff hits.
And it comes in a time for the MCU where every movie had a message, like actually had thematic, like narratives and tones in the movies. Like this one deals a lot with not taking life for granted and not being self-obsessed and thinking of other people and making the most out of the life that we have.
So again, just like with Loki, just like Thor, Doctor Strange's arc is probably surprising to a lot of people, but that's what makes it so satisfying to watch.
And that's a great tie-in into our number 9 spot. Now into the top 10, we're rounding it down. Number 9, we've already talked about it a little bit. Loki, arguably the best. Decked out for the number 9 spot.
Not planning on this, actually, by the way. So,
and probably the best Marvel TV show, like objectively, visually. And there's actually some really important stuff introduced in that show, right? Like Kang at the time was really important, not so much anymore, but at the time was super important. You obviously get a
TVA.
the TVA as well. That's still really important. You get a huge character, obviously, switch and development for Loki, really turning him into the almost hero and protagonist that we kind of know him as now, going into Doomsday. There's a lot of great character work for Loki. You could do an episode alone talking about Loki and why that show was so good. And to have 2 back-to-back great seasons. Like two seasons, like without a drop-off. Yeah.
And both of them very, very important for the wider universe. Season 1 introducing TVA and Kang, he remains. And then season 2, I mean, we turn into the Loki that we know him as now.
And is it the only in-universe, like canon MCU show to have a season 2? I think it is.
Yeah.
That just speaks to why it's so good.
Come on, Kevin, give me Moon Knight too. Come on.
Yeah, let's stop holding on. I mean, I get Daredevil has a season 2 now, but like at the time, I guess at this moment it is still the only show to have a season 2. But Loki is incredible, a great show. Again, you could do a whole episode talking about that. And most of these, like, we probably don't need a whole lot of explanation, right?
Our number 8.
You can make an argument for Loki to be higher, but there's so much good that comes after it, right? Iron Man at our number 8 spot, though, right? We got to talk about it. It had to happen. Maybe
the original,
kicked it off in a lot of ways.
What a risk!
Yeah,
I mean, Marvel Studios didn't exist before this in 2008. For them to look at their entire universe of characters. Now, again, growing up with the proclivities that I did and what I liked, I mean, I knew who Iron Man was.
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't.
No.
He is, at the time, if you're doing the letter grade system, I mean, he would have been a B tier character at best.
At best.
They went Iron Man and Hulk.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the intro to Tony Stark and Iron Man for most people.
Hulk wasn't even owned by Disney at that point either.
Nope. Hulk had to co-produce with Universal, which is a huge mess and why we still don't have a solo Hulk movie beyond that with Mark Ruffalo. But, I mean, they took a risk because this was a higher reward threshold. If they did it well. And what they did well in Iron Man set the blueprint for the entire universe. They have Jon Favreau, who obviously is still popping in and out and helping and doing things, and which his importance,
he's more on the Star Wars train now.
But his importance, I'm so glad he was showing up because that was a nod to him.
Yeah.
Hey, you helped do this. And so he made it a serious endeavor.
Another risk that has to be addressed also is casting RDJ. Like at that point.
That's what I was going to get into too.
Yeah. And what he brings to the character of Iron Man. I mean, he is Iron Man. Like that his probably in the modern day, but he is Tony Stark too.
But you are on the younger side of things. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, no, I wasn't really alive for a lot of the RDJ drama
because
pre, 2000.
Yeah, I mean, he was a burnout. He was a pariah. He couldn't get a role for free for many years. And he, he said, hey, he took a chance because they took a chance on him. He made 500 grand. That was his salary for Iron Man 1. Now he's the highest paid actor in the world and has been for many years.
And he took a pay cut for Doomsday. It's like 40 million or something, but he gets to have like his own like city of trailers or something like that. But what's funny, like RDJ is a fantastic actor. Like in his older movies, in his younger age, like he is a fantastic actor to this day. But that was a huge risk, casting him at that point to start your like Marvel universe, and he became that character.
It much like I said with Tom Holland.
Yeah,
like Tommy is Peter Parker, right? And RDJ. Well, I mean, I almost said he is Tony Stark, but is he? I guess we're going to find out in a few months. But up till this point, he has been Tony Stark.
It's Iron Man is great. Moving on, though, number 7, another movie that, as we kind of mentioned with a few other previously talked about, the first of its kind, another massive risk, and another massive reward. Number 7, Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 1. The first Guardians movie.
So I said on his best day, Tony Stark, Iron Man was a B level. I would say all the Guardians would be closer to a D plus.
I wouldn't. I feel like that might be a little bit generous because what's important to remember about the Guardians, like as a comic book lineup, is that like iteration of them, like Rocket, Groot, Gamora, Star-Lord, Drax, like that was spawned and popularized much because of the movie. Like, Guardians of the Galaxy were introduced in a older like Silver Age comic. I think it was like Marvel Superheroes. Fact check me, look this up real quick on the number, but I want to say it's like number 19, number 18. Excuse me, I was a number off.
You're excused.
I'm excused. But it never came together in the comics really popular in a popular way until after the movies. Like if you
the lineup for that is crazy different.
If you look at even Bronze Age Guardians of the Galaxy books, I mean, I'm looking here at a lineup. This movie is what brought the Guardians to life in the comics. I would honestly say these characters were like not even known. Like nobody knew who the Guardians were at all. I mean, you could even have asked like Marvel fans probably at that time, and they would be like, "Who? I don't even know who the."
No, so at that point in time,
yeah,
I was completely unaware of them in the comic book sense.
Yeah.
And when it was announced, I just remember looking at everybody else I knew that liked the Marvel movies, and we just kind of all shrugged and were like, they haven't made an effing mistake yet. So I guess it's, I'll look forward to it next summer.
Yeah.
But
the chemistry, the comedy, perfect casting, again, the narrative messaging.
Even people who don't really dig comic book movies, I think they watch this and it's just so much fun because of the chemistry and the cast of characters.
Well put, well said. Number 7, Guardians. Number 6, a movie that changed the trajectory of the MCU. A movie that this year will be 10 years old. Captain America: Civil War at number 6. Again, like, changed the MCU when that came out. I mean, Iron Man and Captain America fighting each other. Oh my lord!
They went from a bickering couple, because they would butt heads and different ideologies, a little bit, but this was full out. I mean, this was a war.
And we've all talked about why Civil War is great. Obviously, gave us Black Panther, gave us Spider-Man. But what I kind of want to talk about more of this is this was so well adapted. Like Civil War in the comics was a huge event. Maybe one of Marvel's most like important events in the comics was Civil War, because it was like, all like every character was pitted against each other in a way that wasn't really possible for the movie at the time. I think it actually be internally. I mean, I don't know if it'll ever happen, but it would be really fun to see them maybe like revisit this now in like a what if type thing where now that they have the X-Men and they have the Fantastic Four and they have all the Avengers and all these characters to kind of revisit Civil War with all of them in place, because I think that'd be really fun. But for what they had to work with, every theme, every point of conflict, I mean, because it's Captain America and it's Iron Man, and it's those two worldviews clashing on, freedom and what they believe and how they believe superheroes should be allowed to operate. And that just works so well. And even though it's different, and I think it's the perfect testament, I'll let you go in 1 minute, a perfect testament to like how comic accuracy should and can be adapted in a movie. Like this is nowhere near 100% comic accurate to what actually happened in the Civil War in like the comic. But narratively, like what it reflects was there. For the most part, it was there. And it worked so well.
And what makes it work so well for even people who didn't read any of the comics is the extreme basing of it in reality.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I know I say that with a grain of salt because they're superheroes and don't really exist, but you watch these movies and it's not so fantastical. I mean, like they're fighting in an airport. Everyone's been to an airport or knows what it is. So, and government control, like insurance liability, like who is in charge of these things. And so the basing of their conflict in real world stuff to where, again, even if you are going to sit down and you could pop this in and not know anything else about, never seen another movie before in the MCU. If you started with this, you're going to understand that, it's kind of a team, but they're cracking and they have different ideas. I mean, like you would still be able to follow this because it's a universal conflict.
And another funny thing to mention is when DC tried to like copy that hype, when they said, Iron Man and Cap are going to fight, this is huge. Superman and Batman need to fight right now. Like call them up. They need to go now.
Yeah.
And it, like we talked about it, like I don't remember. We ranked that movie kind of high for the DC ones, but
the bar was set so low.
But the bar was set so low, and it was so funny. But Civil War at 6.
But going into number 5, you can tell where Cap and his ideals and where it leads him come from our number 5 entry. And this is when government oversight, overreach, and criminal justice and surveillance all are happening and swirling behind the scenes. And when Cap finds it out, he loses it.
Number 5 would be The Winter Soldier. Arguably, a lot of people might have that at 1, some maybe at 2. I think number 5 is perfect for it.
And I'm not mad if somebody ranks it higher.
And a lot of these can be, interchanged, right? I mean, a lot of these you can make arguments for higher from 5 to 1 or, interchanging the spots. But what I think is so interesting about Winter Soldier is like it's you really see Cap like as a character there. He doesn't know what to do with himself if he's not a soldier in a military. But doesn't
based in reality. How many times in real world, like I know people who have come out of military life and they're like,
I don't know
what am I supposed to do?
And what makes this interesting for Cap is like he's not comfortable.
He's a man out of time.
He's a man out of time. He doesn't know if he's comfortable going back into like actual service and actual like rejoining the army. So who does he know out of the ice? Who is he comfortable with? S.H.I.E.L.D., right? So he has to join up with S.H.I.E.L.D. Well, that's where you start clashing with, Nick Fury is this untrusting, like, see the world for as it is and add the worst of it with, and that's just not who Steve is. Steve doesn't view the world that way. So when he's, they got to spy on everybody and they're going to ID threats to Steve, that's not how he views the world.
And the distrust of Nick Fury comes from Avengers 1. When he discovers that they're using the Tesseract for weapons. And now it's just wide scale. But I mean, again, one of these things that kind of like the Dark Knight trilogy, where um, it's not really a superhero movie.
No.
The Winter Soldier is, I mean, it's filled with superheroes, but it's not a superhero movie.
No.
That is a kind of a thriller drama, and realistic tones of how somebody would react.
It continues First Avenger. I mean, what I think what's also important to remember is these trilogies were like stories of their own, like it wasn't always about, advancing a large universal story. Like it was always worked in, but they were stories and like arcs of their own within these trilogies and these individual movies. Not enough time to talk about all the reasons why Winter Soldier is so good. Number 4, we've talked about it already extensively, I think.
Avengers 1. Still one of, if not the best theater experiences I've ever had in my life.
And again, I was 7 years old. I can attest to that.
I mean, just as somebody, I love movies, and I love watching them. I'm a history buff when it comes to them, and my autistic nature comes out because I memorize and do different things with it. But I had never ever experienced anything like Avengers because of that lead up, and that's what DC has never understood, is that Avengers 1 is so perfect, so beloved, so everything, because they took the time and gave every single person a solo movie leading up to boom. Wow. Iron Man 2 being an exception sequel in there, but that was a surprise on how much everyone loved Tony Stark. But without those individual movies leading up to this event, I mean, Josh Whedon was the architect of Avengers 1 for everything on the backside, and great choice for it. But he had to take what Jon Favreau started with Iron Man. He had to take Kenneth Branagh's Thor. He had to take all these different individual visions and be like, how is Thor gonna act in my Avengers movie?
But like you said, it worked so well because you knew those characters, right? They developed those characters already. Avengers 1, again, we've already talked about it. That's number 4. Number 3.
Now these are all kind of the top 4.
Flip-flopping.
Top 4 I was going to say are kind of sappy picks. Like these are, it's low-hanging fruit, especially.
You all know what's coming.
Or you should figure it out, people. Come on. But number 3, especially for me, another first in cinematic history, right?
Yes.
We got 3 iterations of one of the most iconic comic characters in film media and print of all time.
It never happened before, right? Spider-Man No Way Home at number 3. I mean, and without that, like without Toby, Andrew, and Tom all in the same movie, this is not number 3.
No.
But obviously they are, right? And that is that's a first. I mean, that's generational, like, collisions. This is something that, like, people talk about with Star Wars, right? Like when Force Awakens came out, it's the family and they saw Star Wars and now their kids seeing Star Wars. Well, I mean, this is that for the MCU. I mean, this is a generational film for Marvel and bringing together 3 Spider-Mans. I mean, that was such a that was such a fantasy concept, like, back then.
And this, I'm going to go back to our number 20, Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah.
Same kind of thing. I mean, like they from the depths pulled Hugh out of retirement to be like, come on, buddy, we love you.
And that's how it was described, was like, this is the No Way Home for Fox movies. But again, like before this, that was such a fantasy concept. Like, if you told somebody that this was going to happen in like 2018, you're like, what? All 3 of them?
Yeah,
no way.
No way Toby's coming back.
No way they can do that. They wouldn't do that. Like, it just wasn't something that was deemed possible, and that's why it's number 3.
Spidey's my favorite. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
But Toby and Andrew didn't need to do this.
No.
They're set. They're good. They can do whatever the heck they want, right? But like that means so much to me and anybody like me. And so the fact that they were willing to like, we're gonna do this super special
Come
thing
out
that
of retirement.
people are going to lose their minds.
Let's get into the top 2.
Now, we did a lot of this.
In our initial, we had these flip-flopped in our initial draft of this. Number 2, we're gonna put Endgame at number 2. And let's just do number 1's Infinity War. You all know it's Infinity War. Number 2 and number 1 is Endgame and Infinity War. Why is Endgame number 2? I personally think Endgame. I personally think Endgame. I think I had Endgame.
You had it 1.
At 1, and the reason why I had it at 1, even though I think, and I agree with where we put Infinity War. I think Infinity War is objectively a better movie. But Endgame is such a like generational, like once in a lifetime event movie. I mean, you could have been, like, if you think about it, you could have been alive at, like, any point in history, and you were alive to see Endgame in the theater. Like, that's a generational landmark in movie making.
For everything that I said about the Avengers, interweaving all those individual stories, I mean, it's that on steroids and adrenaline and everything, because there were so many things coming in, and basically any character that ever had a screen moment with the MCU is
10 years of movie making and storytelling coming together in one 3-hour movie. Why is Infinity War 1? Or because it is, again, it's just a better movie. Like, I think it's hard to describe.
To the Star Wars geeks, Infinity War is the Empire Strike Back, right?
Yeah.
Because the bad guys won.
Yeah.
For Infinity War, I mean, you walked out of that movie when the credits were going, because it was right after.
Yeah.
It was silent. There was no cheers. There was no It was just, oh my God.
Yeah. Like,
he did it.
Yeah.
And I mean, people have snapped their fingers forever, but like now, I mean, like when people say like,
and that's a
Thanos snapped, like, people know like that, and that literally changed vernacular. That changed the zeitgeist. That changed what people thought like a snap was.
Built this anticipation to Endgame. Like it Endgame was so you were so excited for Endgame because everybody died in Infinity War. Like half of your favorite characters were dead. Spider-Man didn't want to go and he went, right? And you're like, oh my God, like what's gonna happen? Like how is that gonna happen?
Can the good guys come?
And then you see Endgame, and it just propels Endgame so much. And
so if somebody puts Endgame over Infinity War, I mean, like, I'm not going to argue too hard.
And I would also say too that Infinity War was a lot of coming together of storylines. I mean, in a much lesser degree, in arguably a more focused degree than Endgame,
for sure. Well, because
in a more impactful way.
In Infinity War, there were so many end credit scenes that we didn't discuss until now, but Thanos was the most teased end credit thing.
Yeah.
I remember when Avengers 1 came out and the end credit scene, was him. It was our first view of Thanos on his flying space rocket.
You're like, holy shit.
But people didn't know.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't said that was Thanos. And you just kind of got like just a little side view of his face. And people were like, there were a lot of different theories about who this dude was.
And if you go back to Guardians, right, when you actually got like the first like real look at Thanos, and you can hear in the Marvel fans like, are they actually gonna do that, or is this just like a Easter egg like thing? That was a thing too. Like, I mean, nobody thought that anything like Infinity War would be possible or was going to happen. Like that still was so far out at that point that like you watch Guardians and you see Thanos and you kind of say, are they really going to try and do that? Like, is that really going to be what they're doing? And then you get that same kind of post-credit scene in Age of Ultron, and you're like, okay,
yeah,
they're going to do it.
And the complete buildup of every single project leading to those two movies. And that's what
each Infinity Stone,
Yeah, but that's what made those movies work. I mean, they are the highest grossing movies ever.
Yeah.
They are so rewatchable and fun, but the building blocks were so important to hold those up. And that's what worries me about Doomsday.
Yeah, well, Doomsday is just kind of like they said, we can't do Kang anymore. Sorry, Jonathan Majors. Gonna have to back off of that. How about Doom? Let's just do that. And what I've kind of been noticing about Doomsday is they've written these post-credit scenes so intentionally vague, and you could make the case that like maybe they were never 100% sold on Kang in the first place. So they kind of kept the door open a little bit. They said, you know what, let's keep these vague, because now what you see is a lot of this, like, you play back the post-credit scene for Captain America 4. You play it back for all these like movies, right? The Shang-Chi post-credit scene, and you're like, oh, now like that's been leading to Doom the whole time, and like that wasn't the case, but it's been so vague that they can play it off, right?
What made the top two such an easy choice for me was the build-up.
Yeah.
Now the future. Again, until proven otherwise, I mean, Marvel will probably be doing just fine. But
yeah, I mean,
if I'm gonna throw my 2 cents out into the online interweb, that would be the only thing, is that the foundation isn't as strong. I mean, I don't know. I feel accomplished. I feel accomplished in this listing.
We put a lot of thought in it, obviously a lot of time. This has been a long time.
You think it's hard watching these long videos of him and me talking? We did so much more to get this set up.
Hours of like deliberation and back and forth, and it was so much fun. I want to find something else to do it with. Maybe after I finish watching Harry Potter, we can rank the Harry Potter movies. But that was it. That was our ranking of all MCU projects to date. Thank you all for listening. Let us know what you think and where you think we screwed up.
Did Tommy screw up? Because I know
around
it wouldn't be
all
me,
of
but
these.
if there's a question or something you think that we're way off on, I want to hear about it.
I don't know how. I do want to keep, like, as things come out, we'll keep updating this. I don't know if we'll readjust the whole list, but tell you at least kind of what section or tier it fits in.
I think that's probably.
And we're gonna hand it back to the tank, and we're gonna do a little bit of an outro here.
There we go.
All right. The epic list has been completed.
Yes, 3 parts in the making. That was a 3-part series.
It was a long one, but a very good, well thought out. Good arguments for why they're placed where they're placed. I think the fans hopefully enjoyed that. You guys did a good job on that. Good job. Congratulations.
Yes.
That was a great episode. Hey, we got to end this thing now. It's just been a long one, and this is our 99th. We're coming up on our 100th, so stay tuned for that.
Yes.
Shout outs.
Want
to give a shout out to Eli.
Back.
We're bringing it back. We're going to shout out to Eli, Lucy, of course. Of course, we want to say hi to Rick and Melissa out there, the Gossovich family, the Dwyer family, Jeff, Ryan, and Brian, and Nick. And that's what we're going to end the shout outs. Let's have some shout outs for some people.
Matt and JD.
I know. Matt and JD. We can't forget about
Matt.
Jimmy the Souser.
The talent.
The talent, of course, we got to give Jamie a shout out.
Yes.
Otherwise, we hear about it later.
We don't want to forget about that. So yeah, so all right, shout outs to everybody, JD and the talent and everybody else. We will resume with the shout outs now in the new year here 2026.
Yeah.
And we hope you keep watching and enjoying Most Wanted Comics and our show Most Wanted Topics. So with that, we will see you next week, everybody.